This show has been brought to you by SacredApparel.net. The homie Twink and the crew over there are always coming up with the latest fashions, the tees, the hoodies, and the hats. Right now, they got a store-wide sale going on. Everything 20% off. This would be a great time to pick up a hoodie. Everything 40% off. Regular price $40, now they $25 a hoodie. And the dope thing that I like about Sacred Apparel, they got tees for the big homies. So go check them out, sacredapparel.net, a clothing store for the ladies and gentlemen that choose to live sacred. You dig? Are you looking for those heavy trap bangers? Then you definitely need to holler at Rock House Music, specialized and known for those bending 808s. You may have heard his recent work on K-Drama's The 8 album. So if that's the sound you're going for, holler at my man Anthony over at Rock House Music. You can check out his beats on SoundCloud at www.soundcloud.com/IamRockhouse. Again, that's www.soundcloud.com/IamRockhouse. Rock House Music, home of the bending 808s. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Are you working on a project and you're looking for your next banger? Well, check out the team over at SoundHbeats.com. Looking for a variety of production? Well, the homie Ray and the crew over there can take care of all of your musical needs. They got exclusives, leases, and they got a clearance sale over there. Are you an artist on a budget? Well, now they are offering bulk discount prices on their lease beats. So what you waiting on? Head on over to SoundHbeats.com and pick up your banger today. Christian music, all heart. SoundHbeats.com.
We are the plug for producers. The ShowLab Producer Podcast. You dig?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This should be played at high volume.
You ain't got the answers.
Yo, what's good?
Hey, yo, what's poppin'? It's your boy Swift.
It's Young Joshua.
This is
Surface.
This your man K-Drama.
This is the Amazing SB, and you're listening to the ShowLab Producer Podcast.
And you're listening to the ShowLab Producer Podcast.
And you're listening to the ShowLab Producer Podcast.
You are now listening to the ShowLab Producer Podcast.
And you're listening to the ShowLab Producer Podcast with my man Marv.
With my homie Marv. With my homie Marv. With my man Marv from OB.
I'm a Marv from Mo Beats, baby, yeah. You're listening to the ShowLab Producer Podcast, where we talk about nothing but producer stuff. You dig?
Yo. You're listening to the ShowLab Producer Podcast. I am your boy, Marv from Mo Beats, on this Tuesday afternoon / evening. It's a great day. It's hot outside. It's hot in Texas. Really hot in Texas today. Hope you're enjoying your day. Hope you're staying cool and all that good stuff wherever you're at. If you're at the job or if you're at the studio making beats, I hope you are enjoying your day today. Again, you're listening to the ShowLab Producer Podcast, where we talk about nothing but producer stuff. You dig? Today, we are talking about the producer community, the importance of producer community. Is it still a relevant thing to do? Is it still relevant? Is it still necessary? Is that united front, is that camaraderie still important in the music industry? You got companies, you got sites like our standards, MachineMasters.com, which I am privileged and honored to even be working with. MachineMasters.com. Shout out to MachineMasters.com, AG, and the homie Billy Blast over there. Really got a dope producer community, and that's a community abroad, and that's dope, and that is great. But is it really necessary? You know what I'm saying? When we say community, we think about, you know what I'm saying, a group of dudes, chicks or whatever, coming together, sharing ideas and stuff. But it's that community, it's that network necessary for today, and just not talking about in just in the industry, but I'm talking about even in Christian hip hop. As a Christian hip hop producer, I could say that is something that is missing in the genre. There's not like this big producer community like it was at one time. When I first started, there was a community of producers. You know what I'm saying? The more established producers were looking out for the producers that were coming under them, and then my colleagues, the dudes that I came through with, we would try to keep that tradition going on. But somewhere down the line, it has broke down to where we don't really have that community, that united front. So that's what we're talking about today, man. And I have no other than this gentleman by the name of Ironic Lee. He's going to be on the show. He's going to talk about it. My homeboy Sharif Chauncey. Shout out to Sharif Chauncey for Just Advocate Management. When I was telling him about the topic that I wanted to talk about, he said that, Ironic Lee will be great for the subject. So got him on the show, man, and we're going to discuss it. And we're going to get into it, just get it from his take, Is it necessary? How important is it? How was it when he started out? So it's going to be a great interview, great show today. Before we get into all that, I got to start off with the scripture. And the scripture is coming from Amos chapter 3, verse 3. Very simple scripture. And I'm reading it in the Message Bible. And it reads, do two people walk hand in hand if they're not going to the same place? I'm going to read it again. Do two people walk hand in hand if they are not going to the same place? In the King James, it says, how can two people walk together lest they agree? The scripture is so fitting for what we're talking about today. Just the community. It's going to be hard to walk together if there's not any agreement, if there's no establishment of agreement. And I'm not saying that everybody got to agree with everything, but there should be room for dialogue and reasoning in what we do, because at the end of the day, we're all trying to do what we called to do, establish ourselves as producers and make a living at the same time. I don't want to spoil the interview, but we're going to talk about some of the things that kind of narrows the road for producer community. Why is it hard? Just in the generation of producers that we're in. And I'm not putting the young bucks down. If you tune into the show last couple episodes when me and Tony Stone, I had him on the show, he was saying how it is important that we embrace this younger generation of producers. They are necessary. I mean, I've been doing this close to 15 years. Eventually I'm gonna be passing the torch on to someone. Somebody's gonna have to continue to keep the torch lit. So we as older producers should embrace the producers, but there has to be room for the newer generations to also embrace and receive from the older producers. So we're going to talk about that, man. That's the scripture for today. Amos chapter 3, verse 3. Go check it out. Very simple scripture, but it speaks volumes. You're listening to the TheShowLab Producer Podcast. This show has been brought to you by Sacred Apparel, sacredapparel.net. Twink and them just came out with a new t-shirt, and I'm going to let y'all know, because I got the email. He sent a blast out every Tuesday morning. The new t-shirt, he got the foreigners line, foreigners clothing tees out. Are you a foreigner? Are you in this world but not of it? It's a dope tee. Go check that mug out over at sacredapparel.net. Twink always got popping sales going on. So, yeah, man, go check them out, man. They got some dope gear over there. Still waiting on mine to come in the mail. Waiting for my package to come in the mail. But I ain't gonna say nothing about it. And I ain't gonna be bitter. And I ain't gonna be mad. Twink, send me my stuff right now. You're listening to the ShowLab Producer Podcast, where we talk about nothing but producer stuff. And I got my baby boy. He's sitting in the show with me. He was scared to do a commercial yesterday. You want to say you listen to the ShowLab Producer Podcast? You don't want to say it? All right, he don't want to say it, y'all. Well, anyway, you're listening to the ShowLab Producer Podcast, where we talk about nothing but producer stuff. You dig?
You are listening to the ShowLab Producer Podcast, the podcast that's strictly for producers.
You're listening to the ShowLab Producer Podcast, man. I am your boy, Mar from Mo Beats. Before we get into the interview, man, just want to share some light on what's been going on in our U.S. of A. There's been a lot of heartbreaking things going on. You had the Alton Sterling situation in Baton Rouge. That was really close to home because I'm from Louisiana. Then you had the situation in Minneapolis. Was it Minneapolis or Minnesota? Minneapolis. I forgot the brother name. But, again, just an unnecessary tragedy. You know what I'm saying? Both of those were unnecessary tragedies. And then, to top that mug off, you know what I'm saying, you had the Dallas shooting. Again, another unnecessary tragedy. It's heartbreaking, but at the same time, I'm not shocked. You know what I'm saying? According to the scriptures, man, we're getting close to we are in the last days, man, and we getting close to Christ coming, man. So, a lot of this stuff got to happen. A lot of this stuff is happening, you know what I'm saying? It's supposed to happen. All the rumors of wars and, just the back and forth, the fighting and stuff, man. It's heartbreaking, but I'm looking up because my redemption draws near. So, man, my heart, my prayers goes out to all of those people that unfortunately died, and my heart goes out to their families. You know what I'm saying? That God will comfort their hearts. That this would be an opportunity. You know what I'm saying, to draw closer to God. And I know some may be saying, well, if there was a God, why would he allow this to happen? I wish I had an answer for you, man. I just know that God is sovereign, and he does what he has he has everything mapped out according to how he wanted to go, bro. There's a reason behind everything. As a Christian for 17 years, try not to get into that questioning God on why he's doing things and stuff, because then I find myself in that questioning, not wanting to believe, you know what I'm saying, and getting angry. So I try to just, I trust that God is in control. He's working everything out. There's a reason for all this, for this to be happening, man. So yes, my heart goes out to the families and to all those that lost loved ones. A lot of daddies, there's a lot of single parent homes right now because of the tragic situation that is happening. And man, you know what, the media and Facebook and stuff, man, I get it, bringing awareness, but man, just seeing it every day after it over and over and over, man, it just really drains you. So definitely keep it in prayer when you think about it, man. Pray for the families that they will be able to go on and continue to live, because at the end of the day, they have to go on and continue to live. And most importantly, I don't want to downplay this, that justice will reign, through this all. Those killings could have been avoided, just straight up. Those killings, it could have been better. There was other ways that those situations could have been handled. So I'm hoping and praying that our judicial system would do their just due, and that's to give justice to those families, and even with the situation in Dallas, man, that some justice and some closure will come with that, man. Man, it's just on both ends of the stick. It's crazy, man, but praise God, man, he in control. In about a minute, we're gonna have my guy Ironically on the show, and we're going to be talking about the importance of this united front that we should have as producers. You're listening to the TheShowLab Producer Podcast, where we talk about nothing but producer stuff. You want to say it this time? All right, come on, man. Come on, stand up.
You're listening to the TheShowLab Producer Podcast, when we talk about nothing but producer stuff. You dig?
You dig?
We are the plug for producers. The TheShowLab Producer Podcast. You dig?
This show has been brought to you by SacredApparel.net. The homie Twink and the crew over there are always coming up with the latest fashions. The tees, the hoodies, and the hats. Right now, they got a store-wide sale going on. Everything 20% off. This would be a great time to pick up a hoodie. Everything 40% off. Regular price $40, now they $25 a hoodie. And the dope thing that I like about Sacred Apparel, they got tees for the big homies. So go check them out, sacredapparel.net, a clothing store for the ladies and gentlemen that choose to live sacred. You dig?
We are the plug for producers. The TheShowLab Producer Podcast. You dig?
Yes, sir. You're listening to the TheShowLab Producer Podcast, man. I am your boy, Mark from Mo Beats. This week, we're talking about producer community, man. Something that was something that was it was of something when I first started out, man. We had a producer community, man, where the older producers, they would look out for the youngsters, people like Tony Stone, Todd Bangs, JR, them guys, they looked out for me, I can personally say. But we living in a time, even in Christian hip hop, where that community and camaraderie is not there anymore. And I would like to introduce this guy, somebody that a friend of mine highly recommend that would be good for this subject. And I would like to welcome him to the show, my man, Ironically. What up, bro?
Hey, what's good, family?
I'm well, man. How you doing today, bro?
Hey, man, I'm good, man. It's been a busy day, I had a video shoot with one of my artists earlier, and just you know what I'm saying, just living life, man. But I'm good, though. It's good. Everything's good.
No doubt, man. Before we get into the show, bro, I want you to let the listeners know who you are and what you do and all that good stuff.
Word. Okay, so my name is ironically Ronald Lee. Government name, Ronald Lee Jr., but, the performance name, the stage name is ironically. I've been producing for a nice little minute. Started off on the Christian end of things with producing with the Union. So people that remember the Union, when we were doing our thing. Right. Back in, the early 2000s to mid to late 2000s or whatever. I think, mid 2000s or whatever. So, I was heavily involved with a lot of those projects, co-executives produced, like the Her Project. Right. Had production on pretty much every project that we put out. I'm primarily produced for Mahogany Jones right now. Right. Shout out to Mahogany. Shout out to Mahogany. That's my sis. We've been getting it in for about 15 years. Yes, sir. I produced, her very first record, the majority of the production on there, but I executive produced that, produced her prayer record. We got a record about to drop, Sugar Water, August 8th. I executive produced that. Probably got about 2 tracks in there, but I've been mainly doing that with her. I got a few other acts that I produce and work with. Ayomos Murad out of Chicago. He has a Liberation the Voice EP he put out earlier this year. I executive produced, and this group Levitical out of Detroit. They just dropped their EP on the 30th. Do the Right Thing, the 30th of June, and I executive produced that record as well. So I have a label called What's the Irony. And those are the main artists that I'm working with, along with another brother from Detroit called King the Franchise, a.k.a. Chemo, who's working on the project now. So, those are kind of my credits. I think I produced on Shalin's record, the Soulless Christmas project. I did the Angels track on there. I produced on R. Swift's very first project. It was a joint to his wife that he was like I forget the name of the joint, but I produced that track. Okay. I'm trying to think who else. Was that on Revolutionary Theme Music? No, it was the one before that. It was the one. It was like it was his very, very first record after their group broke up. I forget the name of their group. Street Sweepers. After Street Sweepers broke up, it was his very first solo record. It had a date on it because it was his. I want to say it was his Salvation date. Okay. I can't think of the name of the record. I was supposed to have some early production on Holy Culture, but the tracks didn't make it. So I've been doing it for a minute, man. Yeah. Okay. Well, man, Lee, Ron, the reason I wanted you to I wanted you on the show. Shout out to my guy Sharif Chauncey, man. He, like I say, he highly recommended you, bro. Me and Reef, we go back a hot minute. Word. And one thing about me, bro, I try to, maybe I'm beating a dead horse, but I'm always trying to find a way to, engage community as producers. You know what I'm saying? I hate to say that it's a dying. We may be the last of the dying breed. You know what I'm saying? Right. But when I was telling Reef, that's a topic that I wanted to talk about, man. He said that you would definitely be the man for it, bro. And just in where we at today, bro. Like I was saying before we started the interview, when I came up, man, dudes like Tony Stone, Ty Banks, you know what I'm saying? JR, actually JR was the reason, his testimony gave me the courage and the desire to even want to go full time as a producer, man. So, you had dudes that really, would sit down and, build with you, man. Right. I even remember, like when Tony would do a beat sale or something, or if I was doing a beat sale, man, we would either email. I guess by the time I started getting some stuff under my belt, I was worthy to have his telephone number. So right. So we would text one another. Hey, bro, I see you got a sale. What is your sale? What prices are you going? So they wouldn't either if he was doing a sale, I wouldn't go too far under him, or if I was doing a sale, he wouldn't go too under me. You know what I'm saying? It was just that respect thing, but we just don't have that, bro. And
Man, before I get into all these questions, man, let's talk about, when you was coming up, what was the camaraderie like when you started out?
I mean, it was the same. Like pretty much everybody that you named, I have a relationship with. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
JR,
okay.
That's my people.
Yeah.
He had production on Mahogany's first album.
Uh-huh.
Ty Bangs, I mean, that's my bro. We still keep in touch. Tony Stone, that's family.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, the camaraderie in that community, it was there.
Right.
And it was like, like you said, we would just call and just check up on each other just off GP, just about life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Music was a part of it, but it was main so just this is a brother in the face. You know what I'm saying? Who happens to do music and whatnot as well. So, like I said, we would call and talk about our families and just talk about just life in general. Talk about the faith, and music was a part of those conversations as well. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it was easy for me to go to JR and get. Like I said, I got production for JR that I still haven't even used yet. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
But it was there. Like I said, that's saying, like me being a producer, like I make beats, but I'm also like an executive producer, so I'm always looking for beats from other cats anyway. So that was a part of me just building with cats. Like, look, yo, I'm working on this. I hear you on this. Yo, be a part of that. Let's, I want you to be a part of this project. So like you said, the cats had sales on beats. He was hitting them up like, yo, what's going on? What you got? Yo, send me some stuff. Shoot me some stuff. And then just even hearing stuff just for that. Okay, bet that's what he's working on. And just like that iron sharpens iron type thing. So, it was definitely a community. Like even like Mac DeDulos from Everyday Process. Like I wasn't aware of who he was prior, but I think he heard some production on one of the records I did. It was like, yo, who is this cat? Yo, feeling that production. And then I was in Philly doing some stuff with Esso. I think I was in the studio with Esso for I don't know if it was Shaolin or who it was, somebody Lambo wise. And he Mac was there. And we started building and chopping, and it's been love ever since. You know what I'm saying? So it's it's definitely. No, that was there. You know what I'm saying? That's what we kind of came up, in that same era. Like I said, I mean, I remember building with JR. I met JR when he came to Detroit. Right. You know what I'm saying? It was the cross moving the truth. You know what I'm saying? So, it's definitely always been that community and that camaraderie. Right.
Man, I guess I'm kind of lost for words, bro, because, when I think about how it used to be, and I understand, times change and, things change and people change and the generations are totally different, Right. But man, and I say this, with a disappointment, as we even call us, even as we supposed to be believers and being believers, it's still not that lack of unity, man. It's like, I'm not going to share with you because I don't want you to, outdo me, or, what I'm saying?
Right.
I never, even to this day, after almost 15 years, bro, I've never, consider myself to be in competition with no one.
Right.
For one reason, man, Christian hip hop is growing, but it's still small compared to compared to music in general. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So I always would look at, man, we already small. Let's figure out a way how we can maybe work together hand in hand, because even though it's small, it's still enough for everybody to go around, and that's how it used to be, bro. Like, man, JR and them, me being a young dude up under them, they never had a problem with me undercutting their prices. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And even if they was, it would be to the point sometime, and maybe I was just too generous. It'd be to the point sometimes when they was doing the sale, I would wait till they finish, bro. You know what I'm saying? But man, to do that, to do that in this day and age, man, you just don't have that, bro. I guess my next question would be and normally I write my questions down, but I'm just going right off the top of the dome, bro.
No, you good.
What does community look like to you? You know what I'm saying? If you had to, if in your mind, how would you, what would community look like to you, far as, with producers and stuff? I mean, what does that look like?
Well, okay. Well, no, one thing too, like I said, I'm still in community with, with producers. I met some new guys over the years, like shout out to Daniel Steele, just the other day. Right. I remember when I first met Daniel Steele, I think my laptop had got stolen. I had to get a new laptop, and he offered me drums. He was like, "Look, fam, if you need any drums, get at me. I got a plethora of drums." And I told him, I'm like, "Nah, I take them drums," but I'm like, my hard drive wasn't in my bag that got stolen, so I still have all my sounds. But the fact that he extended that, you know what I'm saying, was awesome. Like you said, some people got that whole, "No, I'm hoarding, I'm keeping this to myself, I'm not." He was like, "Look, dog, but what you need as a producer," he was like, "Look, I understand. Like if my laptop would have got stolen, I had to start from scratch. So look, whatever you need, I got you." You know what I'm saying? So that right there, that's a part of that community, just on some like, I got your back. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you said, just my whole thing, I build relationships with people. That's the main thing. Like I said, because when it comes to making this music, it's so personal to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, I like to build relationships with either the artists I'm working with or the producers that I'm working with, just so that, it's personal. You know what I'm saying? It's like, look, I know he got love for me. He got my best interest in mind. I got his best interest in mind. And let's, come together. Even if we never work. Like it's a producer that we've never done music with as of yet. I mean, his name is Red Letter. So he's from Chicago. I'm in Atlanta. He rhymes and he produces.
Right.
But it's like, now mind you, I've been trying to I've been getting beats from this dude for years, but we've never used anything on a record yet. But that camaraderie and that brotherhood is still there. I call him, check on him. I pray for him. How your daughter's doing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's just more than just music. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, even with that, it's like, yeah, man, it's just, I look at it, community for me is like, okay, it's more than just music, but when we get into music, like I said, it ain't no competition, because nobody do what I do how I do it. It's only one Ironic Lee. You know what I'm saying? It's only one you. It's only one Red Letters, one Daniel Steele, one JR, whoever it is. It's only they bring that uniqueness to the table. And like you said, it's enough out here for everybody. So it's like, yeah, man, it's that stuff is foolish. I mean, it's like at the end of the day, let's just, like you said, we can come together and have this unified front, you know what I'm saying, and do so much more and be much more impactful, you know what I'm saying, than this whole division and hoarding and all that type of stuff. My thing is, like you said, I look at it like my kids, people that I'm in relationships with, it's like I want my kids to do better than me. I don't want nobody necessarily, you know what I'm saying, it's like, nah, why would I hold back stuff so that you can't surpass me?
Right.
Like this dude that I'm working with now, Mosaic, he's a young dude, he's from Flint, but he stays in Grand Rapids, Michigan now. He produced most of the 3 records that I released on my label, the Liberation of Voice, Levitical Do the Right Thing, and Mahogany Sugar Water. He did most of the production on all 3 of them records.
Wow, who's that?
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like on some like, well, nah, I'm not going to. Nah, it was like, dude, like, hey, I want you to get your shine on.
What
it's
producer?
Like you bringing something to the table.
What producer
His name is Mosaic.
Yeah, I know Mosaic, man. It's my guy. Shout out to Mosaic.
And actually, I met Mosaic through Swift. Swift came out here for a show. This was back in maybe like 2009.
Right.
Maybe 2010. I went to 2009. It was Tadashi came out here. All Swift came out.
Right.
And Mosaic was doing work with All Swift at the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And All Swift was just building. You know what I'm saying? We exchanged numbers. He let me hear SoundCloud. We just went to the SoundCloud. Was loving the music. Like, yo, you produced after my own heart. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then it just went on from there. And that's the thing. Like, that's my little brother now. Like, even if music has nothing to come into play, like, that's my little brother. He's trying to come down to Detroit just to visit me, to visit my family, not to do no music.
Right.
Just to, you know what I'm saying? That's community.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He know I pray for him. He know that I got his best interest at mine. I let him know, like, when Cat ain't, there'd be times where he called me just for advice, like, yo, Cat's not paying me for beats or this, that, and the third. And I'm giving him advice, like, look, dog, do this. You need to have this in place, have that structured up. And I've been there to mentor him and help him get his business stuff on point. You know what I'm saying? From a business standpoint, because like, as a producer, like certain tips I can give him, because it's like, okay, you doing things that he, to me, he surpassed me. But I still have little tips and little things that I've been doing for years that I can pass on to him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, musically, and I do that because that's my little brother. I want what's best for him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what I see is like, the relationship and all that. The community has to go beyond the music.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And man, Lee, bro. Well, let me start by saying this, bro. I've been knowing Mosaic for a minute too. We worked on Swift on some stuff with Swift around the same time. And if I'm not mistaken, I may be wrong, but if I'm not mistaken, I think I turned them on to Sharif. You know what I'm saying? And got them,
exactly.
I got them connected. I linked them up with Sharif, man. So yeah, I've been knowing Mosaic for a long time, but it's something that you said, bro, how you would, help him with his business and stuff and give him the tips, and how he has kind of like surpassed you in the music. I'm the same way, bro. I was talking to a friend of mine a couple of weeks ago, and I was just telling him, I said, man, I've helped so many other dudes go on and do and surpass me in different things, man. Like, I got a partner of mine, he's a Propeller Head Reasons ambassador. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I seen that. Reese put me on the dude.
Yeah.
Guy, right?
My little guy Justin. Yeah, my guy Justin. But I literally schooled Justin in Reasons. You know what I'm saying? Wow. I just gave him everything that I could give him, and just to see him doing what he does, man, it's joyful to my heart. But in order to do that and be able to do that, I guess free-heartedly, man, you have to be what's the word I'm looking for? You have to be secure in yourself. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because I can easily be, I can look at him now and be like, hold on, man, I told this dude everything he know. He should, right. You know what I'm saying? I could really be, if I wasn't secure and knowing what position God told me to play, man, I could be a really bitter person. You know what I'm saying? But
right.
It brings so much joy, you know what I'm saying, to see him, doing what he's doing, and Justin. But there's plenty of other dudes that I've helped, man, and what I always wanted to do, bro, I wanted to always make sure that I pass it on to someone else because somebody helped me. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
JR and Tony Stone, them dudes really count. They helped me, you know what I'm saying? And man, and I just said, and maybe because I'm almost, I'll be 40 next year, so maybe it got something to do with my upbringing. You know what I'm saying? You just try to pass it on to someone else,
Right.
But just now where we at in this generation, man, it's like, man, I'm trying to get me. I'm trying to do me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what happens? You don't make room for the next generation that comes after this generation. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I guess, in this day and age, I would be considered, you know what I'm saying, a old school producer, older producer, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So what happens, thank God for the podcast and for the website that give me some little voice, but, these young producers, man, they ain't checking for me, you know what I'm saying? So what I try to do, bro, I try to, try to help people, man, that I know that'll be able to pass it on to keep the thing going,
Right.
My next question is, bro, what do you think needs to be done to bring this camaraderie of community back?
That's a good question, and it needs to happen organically. You know what I'm saying? It's like you don't want nothing that's going to be forced.
What somebody got to sign up for.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's the thing. The way that I've always done it is just like me personally, I've always just kind of reached back for cats or just reached out to cats. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And as a result of that, I say that's the thing. I reached out to more cats than I'm in community and fellowship with. So don't get me wrong. It's not everybody that I've reached out with had to necessarily, I won't say took the bait, or hasn't necessarily, you know what I'm saying? Like nothing, you got some stuff where, I have relationships was happening, lifelong relationships, that's right. Cool. You got some people where it was just, okay, it was just business. It was nothing other than that. Even though I try, that's my thing, is I always try to make it more than that. You know what I'm saying? Just because I like longevity. I like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? So, I think some of the stuff that you're doing with your podcast and things like that, I think those are some good tools and some good steps. But I don't know. It's just, and it's not all millennials. Don't get me wrong, because Mosaic is a millennial. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, we're in community. But even me telling him, like, look, the things that I've done for you and do it for you, make sure you do that for somebody else.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And I see him doing that. We've had him come and teach at our summer camp.
Yeah.
Part of our summer camp is teaching kids how to make beats and things like that. So I see that. But like some young cats, like some 19 or 20-year-olds, that's in the thing. I don't know. It's like I don't know. It's this ageism thing that's in hip hop, which is unfortunate. Where Like you said, you're about to be 40. I'm only 37. You know what I'm saying? But cats look at us like we these old heads.
Yeah.
And I say, even it's stuff that I don't necessarily vibe with music-wise or sonically, but I still know good music. Like, look, I'm not a big trap fan, but some of that stuff go hard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like I said, we can still be in community and relationship, and there's still some things that I can teach you about music or about business that you may not know, though you're doing that trap style of music, or though you're doing this new style of music.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But because of, this whole ageism thing, there's that big gap there. So I don't. That's a good question, man. I don't know.
Right. Well,
I really don't know. You know what I'm saying?
I had Tony Stone on the show a couple of episodes ago, and we touched on it just a little bit, and he made a great point. He said that what has to happen, we have to kind of become like these fathers in this thing. You know what I'm saying? The older dudes really have to do the reach. They have to do the reach back.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And so and I guess that's just an old saying. It starts at home. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? It got to start with dudes like me, yourself. You know what I'm saying? Tony. And the reason we was talking about it because Tony was we was talking about paying it forward and passing it on. He was just talking about this guy. A producer by the name of Sinatra that he took up under his wing and taught him everything that he knew. You know what I'm saying? And he was just saying, man, I really just tried to school him and give him the business and stuff and tried to pay it forward. So it's gonna have to start with the older dudes. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
And and it's cool to have one or two, but there's more than just two of us out there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And something else that Tony said too, sometimes what gets in the way is because the community is so small and everybody's trying to, hold on to what they have versus, passing it on. Man, my homeboy, a friend of mine, Israel Music. Me and Iz, I met Iz when we was working on with Mac. We was working with Mac in Israel on their second album, and so when Iz was with Mac in the car, so Mac put him on the phone, and Iz was just like, man, it's so a blessing to meet you, yada yada yada. And I'm like, man, that's what's up, bro. Let's keep in contact. So, man, me and Iz, we stayed in contact for a long time. Really tried, really schooled him. I would, try to school him on what to charge and how to present yourself and how to present the music and stuff. And I remember Jay-Son was working on a project. I had a good, have a good relationship. And me and Jay-Son, we still pretty good friends. But at that time, me and Jay was like, yo, Marv, I need some beats. I was like, cool, I got you. I said, but man, I got this youngster, Israel, bro. I said, man, me and him, we worked on some stuff for Everyday Process. I said, man, he'll be dope. He was like, well, send me some beats. So I got Iz to send me some beats, and I sent it to him. Man, don't you know, bro, that Iz ended up doing almost that whole project, and I did not have not one single beat on that album.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But, I was so happy. I was so happy that Iz was being able to, get the opportunity. And now, they best of friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, they working out this deal where I guess Iz gonna, he got some stuff that he's doing with them guys in the future. But it all started from, almost 6-7 years ago. You know what I'm saying? And, and I had to be willing to, let this dude into a situation that I had, man. I didn't want to hold on and be greedy. You know what I'm saying? So that has to be the mentality, that even, us as producers that got, got a little juice, we got to be able to pass it on, bro. And then what happened, you continue to get blessed as you share. You know what I'm saying? So, it wasn't never, even though I didn't do nothing on JR's album, that didn't stop anything, you know what I'm saying? I continued to work. I just didn't work on that album, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Exactly. So, and people understand, like you said, it's like when you share, it's like, it's like you're giving, but I don't know, man. Cats just don't understand. But like you said, once again, it's back to us. It's back to us to, like you said, do that reach and explain to them and show them. Like you said, you haven't lost anything. You've only gained.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I haven't lost anything. I've only gained.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Regardless of, like I said, and even with that, certain things, my role and position have changed. You know what I'm saying? I went from actually making the beats to not being an executive producer. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I've been able to open up doors for other producers. Like I said, Mosaic, another young guy that I work with, Mitty Beats. He's from Detroit, but he moved to Jacksonville, and now he's down in Houston. You know what I'm saying? So he said the same thing. I remember Jafia hit me up asking for tracks, and I was like, look, I'm going to send you some stuff, but I got another dude that I'm working with, Mosaic. You know what I'm saying? He's like, yo, send me your stuff first, but send me his too. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, just opening up and creating those opportunities, you know what I'm saying, for them, otherwise that they wouldn't have. And like you said, just sitting back and just watching them blossom and just take off and whatnot.
Right.
So, no, that's what's up.
Another question I got, bro. I guess we living in a generation with this millennial generation, man, that think they know it all. I seem to find that dudes are not really teachable these days. Okay, well, let me say this: they don't really accept criticism as well. Right. You know what I'm saying? I've talked to dudes. I'm not a fan of lease beats. I don't do lease beats at all.
Yeah. That's that millennial stuff. I've never done it. I'm still baffled by people that do it, but it's like that's how you get down. That's how you get down.
Man. I've had to get on some. I had to get on some of my colleagues about doing lease beats, and I'm like, I had to reach out to a couple of them one time. I'm like, bro, what is you doing? Why is you doing these lease beats? But anyway, when it comes to that, man, I find it hard for dudes to even receive that. And you know what, Lee, I get it, because they trying to eat. I get it, and they trying to make a name for themselves, trying to establish. But it seems when you try to explain to them, like, hey man, the lease beats do more hurt than it does more bad than it does good for you. It's like dudes will not receive that. So I think that's definitely a breakdown in the community because dudes are not teachable. You know what I'm saying? They just won't say, you know what, Marv, man, you've been in the game, or Ryan, man, you've been in the game for a minute. Let me try this and see what happens, man. I think that causes a breakdown in community because dudes are just not teachable these days. Neither. You know what I'm saying? Has that been a issue you've ran into?
Yeah and nay. I mean, like you said, I think part of it is, if I'm trying to criticize somebody that I'm not necessarily in a relationship with, a community with, I know they're not going to receive it. You know what I'm saying? People that I'm in relationship and community with, they'll receive it more. Though they may be a little reluctant, they'll still at least hear me out and be, okay, I may try it that way, or let me do it this way, and if this way don't work, then I'll try your way. You know what I'm saying? So I've seen that. But I mean, so I've seen both. I've seen it, but like I said, once again, it all depends on that rapport. It's like if I'm in a relationship with you and I have a rapport with you, you're more open to receiving what I give you, what I have to say, criticism-wise, or just whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I think that plays a part. But like you said, it has to start with that relationship. Because I mean, I ain't gonna front. I'm the same way. You know what I'm saying? If it's just some random person I don't know, it's like unless it's somebody that I respect that that has or that's doing something that I haven't done, or you know what I'm saying. But if it's somebody on my same level and it's like, you give me advice that I don't know you, then I'm like, I'm a little hesitant. But if I know you, that the relationship is there, then I'm more open.
And that's the point. That's the aspect I'm coming from. Dudes that that you hadn't had situations and conversations with. I'll be the same way too. You know what I'm saying? You don't know me. I'm like, Juggle, you don't know me. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely feel that it would definitely be awkward for me to try to rebuke somebody or criticize somebody I don't know. I'll be looking for I should be expecting a fight or somebody going off. Yeah, man. Man, I guess before we get out of here, bro, what would be, some advice that you would give, to the the older generation of producers and the younger generation of producers to, I guess, try to, make a reality or bring it back to how it used to be? I mean, what advice would you give dudes?
I'm a type of person where it's like I just love people. I love people. You know what I'm saying? So it's like my advice was just like, look, you need somebody to get to where you're going. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's other producers or whether it's, whoever it is. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's like, I love the fact that I have a team of people that is like, okay, not only are y'all a team and y'all can help me get to where I'm going, I can help y'all get to where y'all going. Right. But it's just that family vibe. Like I said, I just started doing these whole live videos as of recent little Facebook live videos, and I've been allowing people to kind of peek in. They see the camaraderie that I have with the people that I'm working with and building with in the studio, and that's kind of why they starting to peek in and follow. Like, oh dang, I like that. I like the fact that y'all had that family vibe. So it's like you said, it's like the more the merrier. You know what I'm saying? So that's my advice. I'm like, dude, it's like you can't do it all by yourself. Right. No man is an island, whether you're a producer. You look at what Dre is doing with the Aftermath. He has a ton of producers that's under him. You know what I'm saying? That's allowing him to still do what he does. You know what I'm saying? And they dope producers like the Nine Porter, Focus. He just cast that on their own. Without Dre, they still dope. But I know them being a part of his team has not only helped him do what he's doing, but it's helped them doing what they're doing. So it's it's a circle, like a cipher. You know what I'm saying? It's like a circle, and then it's going. It's like everybody's benefiting. Like I always tell my people, it's like, look, if I'm eating, you eat. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same mentality. So it's like, if you adopt that mentality, just see how much more ground you can cover and how much more you can do. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, man, it's a beautiful thing. That's my advice. It's like, dude, like, do it, try it, and just see how much more, you know what I'm saying, your territory is expanded, and just how much more you can do, and just how much fun you have. Like I said, I tell people I'm an extrovert, introvert, or introvert, extrovert, or whatever. It's like, I'm a people person, but you really see me for who I am when I'm with my people. You know what I'm saying? So I love being around my people, and it just opens me up creative-wise. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, it opens up the community to where I have people that is like, if I'm going through, I got people pray for me. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you look at the big picture where it's like, okay, the benefits is like tremendous. Like, okay, that business-wise, that's opening up. My creativity's opening up because now I got people that I can bounce ideas off of. You know what I'm saying? Faith-wise, I got a community I can go to that I can pray for, I can get advice from, I can give advice to, and just so forth and so forth. So it's like, dude, it's like, I don't know why cats wouldn't want to do it, man. Right. It's like, dude, y'all missing out.
Right. And then, and just to add to that, the pride would have to be removed and the humility would have to be there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. For it to just gel, you know what I'm saying? Nobody can be on no pride, no ego trip, you know what I'm saying? And you got to be able to humble yourself to be able to receive from one another. Or whoever's like you use, for instance, for Dre. You know, in Dre case, you know what I'm saying? Dre is he's the producer. So, Focus and DeJuan and them, they have to come up under that. Yet and still can hold their own weight, you know what I'm saying, on projects and stand their own. But they know with Dre that they have a bigger platform and bigger opportunities. You know what I'm saying? And everybody wins, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Everybody wins, bro. So I'm hoping and praying, man, in a perfect world, everybody will be together. But, I guess I'm going to just keep hoping and praying, man. That's why, I try to have the website, man, that's just for producers and DJs, have the podcast, man. Last year, I did a producer conference for South by Southwest. So I'm hoping in the years to come, man, that as God, as He continue to work it all out, man, that it would be a place, it would be something, it would be a thing for producers in the faith where we can come together. My vision for it was to be able to have a place where producers can network with one another, leave the event feeling confident that they can be a successful producer, and not only that, but have this network of producers that they can establish, relationships with, man. So,
right.
I mean, from the very beginning, from when I started, bro, that has been something God has always told me to do, was to be, maybe the voice for the least of the producers. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So. I'm just hoping and praying, man, and I'm gonna keep working at it as much as I can, and keep praying for you, bro, that you that God continue to give you the increase to be able to sow into these brothers and give you the resources to be able to help these brothers farther on, man. Because that's my main thing too. I want to be able to have the I don't want to just help them, but I don't want to just mentor them and stuff. I want to give them resources, and I want to be able to have placements for these dudes, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then that means that, I might have to sacrifice, you know what I'm saying, on my end, you know what I'm saying, to help these dudes. So, I guess you just gotta love it, bro.
Right. No, definitely. And like I said, I mean, I'm going to support you in that, because I mean, that's what it's all about, man.
Yeah, man.
I'm excited to hear that's your vision. You know what I'm saying? I definitely want to support however I can, man. That's
yeah, man. And I guess with the interview and stuff, man, this is a relationship that a relationship would be birthed out of this. You know what I'm saying?
Most definitely.
Because when Reef, like I say, bro, when Reef he said, man, my guy, Ironic Lee would be good for that. I was like, man, I think I'm friends with him on Facebook. Let me reach out to him and see, man. But then when he told me, he said, man, he used to produce for the Union, which I remember the Union back in the day. I was like, oh, okay, all right,
Word.
yeah. He making that heat. You dig?
Right.
Yeah, so, well, man, Lee, Ron, man, I appreciate you coming on the show, dog. I don't know if to call you Ron or Lee or Ironic or whatever, man.
Yeah. Honestly, I get it all. Ron, Lee, I get it all. So whatever you feel comfortable with, it don't matter, fam.
Well, Ron,
I'm comfortable.
No doubt, man. Well, Ron, I appreciate you coming on the show, dog.
Thanks for having me. Now, I appreciate it. Well, I'm honored, man.
No doubt, bro, and definitely looking to build a dope relationship with you in the future, bro. For real.
Definitely.
All right, man.
Already done.
No doubt. And you've been listening to the TheShowLab Producer Podcast, where we talk about nothing but producer stuff. You dig?
You are listening to the TheShowLab Producer Podcast, the podcast that's strictly for producers.
The plug for producers, the TheShowLab Producer Podcast. You dig?
Yo, this is the Amazing SB, and you're listening to the TheShowLab Producer Podcast with my homie Marv. Make sure you're tuned in to theamazingsb.com.
This show has been brought to you by SacredApparel.net. The homie Twink and the crew over there are always coming up with the latest fashions. The tees, the hoodies, and the hats. Right now, they got a store-wide sale going on. Everything 20% off. This would be a great time to pick up a hoodie. Everything 40% off. Regular price $40, now they $25 a hoodie. And the dope thing that I like about Sacred Apparel, they got tees for the big homies. So go check them out, sacredapparel.net, a clothing store for the ladies and gentlemen that choose to live sacred. You dig?
We are the plug for producers, the TheShowLab Producer Podcast.
Are you working on a project and you're looking for your next banger? Well, check out the team over at SoundHbeats.com. Looking for a variety of production? Well, the homie Ray and the crew over there can take care of all of your musical needs. They got exclusives, leases, and they got a clearance sale over there. Are you an artist on a budget? Well, now they are offering bulk discount prices on their lease beats. So what you waiting on? Head on over to SoundHbeats.com and pick up your banger today. Christian music, all heart. SoundHbeats.com.
You're listening to the TheShowLab Producer Podcast, where we talk about nothing but producer stuff. You dig?
You're listening to the TheShowLab Producer Podcast. I got my sidekick, my baby boy Myron. He's my co-host on the show today. So y'all give it up for my baby boy Myron John. Man, I hope you enjoyed the podcast, man. Thank you. Thanks to my guy, producer extraordinaire, Ironic Lee, for coming on the show, sharing his expertise on the importance of producer community. Definitely something that needs to be reestablished, and it just benefits everyone. You know what I'm saying? It benefits us all to kind of just be on one accord when it comes to certain things. If you was paying attention in the podcast, man, just on how I had the utmost respect for dudes that were steps up than me. You know what I'm saying? I respected JR, Ty Bangs, and Tony Stone. You know what I'm saying? I would, make sure that when they was doing sales, either I wouldn't even do a sale at the time, or I would, I would wait, to do, I'm sorry. I will wait to do the sale, or I will make sure that my prices wasn't as low so it wouldn't hurt them. So yeah, man, just something that I think that needs to come back to the Christian hip hop community for producers. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the show. Very informative. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully we can get back to that. On next week, well, let me say this. I know I said last week I was going to have my beautiful wife on the show, but I'm going to try to make sure I get her on the show this week, man. We had a lot of stuff going on. So it was just a matter of, my co-host said time. That was right. We just didn't have the time to do it. But hopefully and prayerfully, I'll be able to have my wife, Damaris, on the show, and we will be talking about the life of a producer's spouse. You know what I'm saying? The things that, she helped me do. You know what I'm saying? The things that she inspired me to do. She encouraged me to do. And just I want to be able to. It wanted to be a transparent interview. I don't want to say. I want y'all to be able to, just to hear it from the spouse's point of view of the things that they have to put up with, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I just think that is something that as producers, we don't shed a lot of light on the importance of what they do. You know what I'm saying? And my wife, she plays she's important to me, you know what I'm saying, and doing a lot of things, So hopefully and prayerfully I have my beautiful queen on the show next week. I don't want to say the things that I have in the future. I got to wait for them to come to pass, but got some great shows coming up in the next weeks coming up. So y'all be on the lookout for that, man. Please spread the word. Leave us a comment. Drop us give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down on if you're enjoying the podcast. If there's a topic that you want us to talk about, please let us know, man. We're definitely trying to, discuss it. If it's a particular producer that you want to try to interview, please let us know, man, so we can do that. This podcast is for the people. It's for us as producers. You know what I'm saying? So, please spread the word. Let your mom and them know. Let your dad and them know. Let everybody that you know that's affiliated with music, artists or producers, know about this podcast, man. The podcast is really growing every month. We started in April, and there's just an increase on the listeners and the downloads, and I am forever and so grateful for that. So shout out to everyone that's been tuning in, that's checking it out. Please spread the word. Continue to let people know what we're doing over here at the ShowLab Producer Podcast. So with that being said, I'm going to get out of here. This is your boy Marv from Mo Beats and
Myron Glassman.
Tell them your whole name.
Myron John Glassman.
And you've been listening to?
You've been listening to the ShowLab Producer Conference.
No, the ShowLab Producer Podcast.
The ShowLab Producer Podcast, where we talk about nothing but producer stuff. You dig? And we out of here till next week. Love you guys. Peace.
You're listening to the ShowLab Producer Podcast, where we talk about nothing but producer stuff. You dig?
You are listening to the TheShowLab Producer Podcast, the podcast that's strictly for producers.
We are the plug for producers. The TheShowLab Producer Podcast. You dig?